Hey, Marin. The war in Europe
Yo.
continues. Russia, Ukraine still going at it, and as we all know, there's big winter coming up this fall in Europe. Energy is going to be a big issue all around the
Right.
world. How does this impact Bitcoin? That's what we're going to be talking about today. President, how's it going, man?
Hey man, it's a beautiful day, another day, another blessing.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Coasting, man, chilling. What else are we gonna talk about, man? Other than
Yes.
the ultimate financial solution in the world today.
Straight to the point. Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. Guess
Yes,
what?
sir. What's
There
going
is
on with
big issue.
Bitcoin?
There's a big issue going on, right? That people are probably not even talking about yet. The issue going on in Europe and the oil energy crisis coming up this fall. How does that impact Bitcoin? Because everything geopolitics somehow impacts Bitcoin. People either run to it and start using it more often, or people start saying, you know what, we're gonna shut it down because it's not energy efficient, as they say.
Well, I mean, it's. Let's take a look at the data, right?
Let's
Because
do that.
when it comes to shutting down Bitcoin, here's the difficulties I have with this whole Bitcoin geopolitically, right? You have a bunch of people who do not understand the technology, a bunch of people who are steadily doing things that are counterproductive to the growth of Bitcoin, which is the most efficient and decentralized
Money out
means
there.
of transferring value.
Yeah.
You have people who are really just lying, right? Creating a bunch of false narratives under the guise of energy or environmental friendliness or taking care of the environment, ESG, all of that type of stuff. But their actions every day against Bitcoin are actually consuming more energy than necessary. I'll give you an example.
It's actually a counter argument at the moment. So
Right.
let's go ahead and show the data.
because here's the thing. I'll give you an example, right? You remember back when China said to ban Bitcoin mining, right? Mind you, this is a country that has spent a ton of money to build solar panels and wind farms and all of that good stuff there. It would seem that the next move will be to make sure that your mining is moving to more clean energy, but you ban Bitcoin. So now a ton of people have to consume even more energy to relocate themselves. If you ask me, that did not help with making Bitcoin cleaner.
I mean,
And it's more of the same.
we had some price impacts with that double fraud because that wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
So like the third time China was banning Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go straight to the data. By the way, folks want to see that.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is what we have here. These are the Bitcoin nodes. This is how Bitcoins get verified. Make sure that the transaction stays accurate. And as we can see here on the charts, there is a ton of nodes in the US. So, we're still holding safe, except for the latest nonsense that the White House sent out yesterday about proof of work and proof of stake. We're going to talk about that in a different video. And then we have Europe here. This is where all the trouble is going to be this fall, which is going to have some, fallover effects on the rest of the world. But that right there in the middle is where all the action is. And of course, you just mentioned China, China is still doing a little bit of, verification here. They might tell you they know the health, the grid, whatever, but no, they're still in there. Even Russia is, getting involved in the game. But yeah, here's that big question right here. With all this action going on in Europe, and there's this energy crisis going on, we know nodes do not consume a lot of energy. So I think nodes is not the issue. Although there's going to be some energy concerns up there. This is where the conversation is at.
Yeah.
What happens to all those nodes?
Well, if Russia cuts off power to the Europeans, right, as they like to say, winter is coming. I like how they make it sound all very dramatic, man. Sorry for the segue, but I like how they make it all dramatic. But if you're saying winter is coming, it sounds like it's been winter in Africa from the beginning of time. It's fucking
It's
bullshit.
black right now. It's still winter.
Okay. Look, man. Here's the deal. I think. Look, they can here. I think. In many cases, okay, people will have to learn about Bitcoin, especially these people in leadership. They'll have to learn about Bitcoin the hard way. It cannot be stopped. People are not just saying that to say it, unlike the ESG narrative, right? So I think I don't know, man. If the power is cut off to Europe, I think what we'll probably see is just that most of that Bitcoin mining in that area.
Well,
right?
this are notes for now. I think I will show you
Yeah.
the mining in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm jumping ahead, yeah, but I think that I guess those notes will not verify transactions anymore. I guess you would just kind of go to other places.
Yeah, and luckily we have layer 2, like the Lightning Network. So
Yeah.
those can easily move over. That's just physically digital. Australia
Yeah.
can take it on, United States can take it on, and energy is still an issue in Africa.
Plus,
so it's not-
also something to think about as well. You have Tor nodes, and from how I understand it, the Tor nodes are not even appearing on the map,
Oh, okay.
and there is a ton of those apparently.
Hmm.
So, I think at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that all of those Bitcoin nodes there might be powered. But I mean, how much energy does it consume?
They're not taking much energy.
They don't consume a lot of energy, but when in a time of social unrest, right?
Yeah.
I think that yes, there's going to be some impacts of some sort. I'm just wondering what that will look like.
Ooh, good topic. If there is social unrest, I think we'll see a lot more activities going on in those nodes than even on the dollar. Because people are going to try to start finding different ways to store their value.
Absolutely.
Kind of like what happened in Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, and we've seen that trend as well happen quite a few times already, especially during the initial phases of inflation.
Mm-hmm.
We did quite a few stories back then talking about all these countries where the people were moving their money into Bitcoin as inflationary. There was Turkey, Argentina,
Yep.
where
Brazil.
else? Brazil. Yeah. So I think that trend will only continue, and everything that these people do that is counterintuitive
Yeah.
to their people's interests. I think it's only showing them that there's an alternative.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
In
quickly
some
look at the
ways,
mining.
as messed up as it is, in some ways, I wish they would go ahead and just go full crazy so that we can accelerate this Bitcoin adoption already.
Well, Russia is kind of considering that right now. But that's part of the adoption. Once you start accepting major resources in Bitcoin, then the adoption increases. So, like accepting crude oil or energy, liquid gas in Bitcoin, then instead of creating your own CBDC or some other digital currency, just go ahead and use Bitcoin. It's been proven to survive all this mess.
There we go.
When it comes to mining, though, yes, the other challenge right here, right? Winter's coming. Asia has this, let's not even go to Asia. Let's not go to Russia. This is where the drama is right now. There are some major pools in Europe right now. And I know, of course, the US has all the good action going on, but we still have what came out of the White House yesterday going on. What do we do with Europe when it comes to mining this fall?
Well, I mean, what do you do?
I'm thinking that if there is less Bitcoin in the space because of the miners have to migrate maybe out of Europe temporarily, the demand, the amount of Bitcoin available in the market is going to reduce, number one, which will then increase the demand.
You mean the mining
Like, the demand
difficulty
and
is going to
supply.
go? You mean the mining difficulty will go up?
Yeah, it will go up, which will also reduce the amount of available Bitcoins.
How so? Because I mean, the existing Bitcoins already exist, so it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's
I mean, we can
they
see here
can
that
only
we
be
have
newer
the...
Bitcoins.
Say that again?
They can only be new Bitcoins. So like the ones that already
they can only be
exist
new
are already
Bitcoins.
there.
So yeah, there'll be lesser new Bitcoins on the ledger.
Yeah, and I think that comes wouldn't that come down to your hash rate?
Yeah.
For your mining?
Yeah, we should reduce it.
That's why I brought up the whole China situation at the beginning, because I think it's just going to be a similar thing. Like imagine, we've already seen, like, whatever happens to Europe. Okay, I think we've already seen it happen when China banned Bitcoin mining. It's the same thing. Cut off power to it, banned Bitcoin mining. Okay, it's off the grid and it's moving somewhere else.
In terms of price action, would that result in us seeing Bitcoin at 13,000 or 10,000 like people were talking about?
Nah. I would say that right now, no.
Okay.
Because mathematically, turning off your mining rigs does not mean that you're subtracting Bitcoins.
No.
Mathematically,
It's just the fraud. You know, they put the fraud out in the market. It's the exchanges. It's not you and I that are buying it.
Right, but
it's the folks that are trading and creating the fraud that causes the prices to go down.
That's fine. But when you look on-chain, when you look at on-chain data, right? Mm-hmm. Remember on Monday we were doing that one video where we're showing that people who've been holding their coins has been rising.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you look at the biggest wallets that have been holding Bitcoin for the longest of times, right?
Yeah.
Unless those people start selling.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that if a bunch of people are holding their Bitcoins, there is going to be a threshold that unless people below a certain level sell their Bitcoins, you will not make it down to, it's like having a stopper.
Below
right?
the 200-day moving average. Just kidding.
Hey, I mean, what does it take to go? Because what does it take to go below the 200-day moving average? You have to sell up to a certain percentage.
Yeah.
Right? But if there is massive support, right? You could look at it as same thing as a chart, support and resistance. If there is a massive support that is below that 200 at the 200-day moving average, you will never go below it.
Yeah.
You will never go below it unless the people who are holding below that 200-day moving average start to dump. You can look at it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but hey, I could be wrong, but I think it's unlikely. So. If I don't know, maybe if you just saw like a wallet that has never moved any coins and they started selling, then yeah.
Okay. I personally think that there could be a lot of fraud introduced into the market that will cause the retail, the newbies to dump, that could see the cost or see the price action moving down. It has nothing to do with the technology, just the price action, and that will be a good opportunity to buy more. Because this situation in Europe is temporary.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I think if they do their best, their very best at FUD, okay, and I don't know what else they can do that is bigger than China banning mining. So hey, I think the way I look at it these days, man, bring it on. It's cool. We need this to happen. No, and I'm being serious. I'm not trying to
test it. Yeah. Did you see that? Bitcoin that just got released? I'm telling you, man, Foundry. Oh, that is via BTC. That's not Foundry this time around.
Yeah, Foundry is like.
I mean, the US is creating a ton of Bitcoin on a regular.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Let's quickly change the topic real quick. This is the last part. We gotta go. ESG nonsense talk about Bitcoin and all that madness. Let me quickly run through this chart real quick. I know this chart could be looked at two different ways, right? So it's the digitalist of the digital data about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other coins out there. As we can see, the energy consumption of Bitcoin has been reducing over time. It did increase during those big China days, but it has since then come down. Now, the one interesting part I wanted us to look at real quick is that this old ESG noise coming from the ECB and all that madness, they are the one that are actually doing the worst. When it comes to Netherlands, United Kingdom, France, Germany, the European countries are the one using the least amount of dirty energy.
Absolutely.
The US is doing great. Why are they releasing all this paperwork against proof? You need to stop listening to the ECB, basically.
What is that guy? The guy, the lizard neck, the one that is in the head of the.
Call it lizard neck.
Head of the ECB. Head of the not the ECB, World Economic Forum.
World Economic Forum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mention his name. You never know. YouTube, YouTube might
You
ban
know
us
what?
now.
Yes, actually, let me not wait. No, bro. Because screw these people. Okay, you cannot control my speech. And every time that you give in to this bullshit, now I really need to find his name. His name is Schwab something.
Schwab. Yeah.
Schwab something.
Schwab is good enough. Let's
It's
go. Let's go.
Klaus Schwab, right? Because here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. When you bend to these people, you've heard the saying, you give an inch and they take a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you start censoring yourself before they even say censor yourself, man, that's a dangerous place to be.
True that.
Because life does not get any better after that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So Klaus Schwab and the rest of his renegades, right, over there in Europe, their actions, man, are just some of the most egregious things I've ever seen. Okay, these people are pushing this whole ESG narrative and climate control bullshit. And the problem is, if you look at the way the world is right now, okay, first of all, we cannot fully transition off
Carbon.
of fossil fuels, not fossil, not like old school, like like oil and gas right now. We cannot fully transition off of it. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible because, for one, all of Europe is getting oil from Russia in the first place, and it has been that way for the longest of times while they were making all of this noise.
And telling Africa and China to shut up.
Exactly, right. And I think that if you look at it in some ways, you could say that they're pushing this whole climate change narrative to ensure that other countries do not grow, because these countries went through industrialization and grew from the use of this same
fossil fuels,
right? Africa has not been contributing to climate change as these people have.
I mean, yes, they have, but indirectly.
No, I don't think that they have.
They
been
come and take our
participating in
resources and then they use it to blow things up.
No, bro, because look at it. Look at these charts out there. You can look at the information.
Yeah.
What countries consume the most oil?
Europe.
Okay. It is
US,
China. I think China is leading the way.
Yep.
America is second. They go to Europe. It's through this industrialization shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The amount of trucks that are running across America, the amount of trains that are running across America, the amount of houses that are powered, right? We're all on the freaking grid.
Mm-hmm.
There are still places in Africa where you still have to use a lamp at night. You see what I'm saying? That's most of it anyway.
That's energy efficient.
So we cannot say that Africa has been contributing to the energy situation, to the pollution situation as much as these people have. Right now, you get to this point where other countries can have this opportunity to grow their economies, and then you want to make the use of oil and gas illegal. It's insane. Okay. Now, if you go back again to Europe, these guys are shutting down nuclear plants, and you have to ask yourself, why are you shutting down nuclear plants if you're saying that you have to get off fossil fuels?
And you're still burning coal,
right?
A ton of coal.
Exactly. You're still burning a ton of coal now. Now you're reverting to coal, which is worse than anything that they could be saying about Bitcoin. And you're doing all of this while saying Bitcoin is the worst thing ever. These people have lost, man.
And this old time, Bitcoin is taking their terrible energy and converting it for mining.
Yeah, these people have lost. There's not, I mean, I went around and around in a circle, but that's just I think that's just something that these people need to consider when they come up with their charts and everything else talking about climate change and things like that, man. I think Europe should focus. I will also add this, because they've been going around guilting everyone. If you look at the Minister of External Affairs, Minister of External Affairs from India, they were guilting this guy and pushing him and trying to get him to put sanctions on Russia as well. Trying to guilt him, trying to pretty much guilt trip the whole country for buying gas from
the rest
Russia.
of the world. Yeah, the rest
Right.
of the world. Like Nigeria, you get involved too. Ghana get involved. South Africa, like, we have nothing to do with this, guys. Like,
right, but here's the thing. At the same time, it's like they're doing this while they were still getting gas from Russia. While Europe itself was still getting gas from Russia. And I'm glad that the Prime Minister of India called him out on it, because he was like, you're complaining about we're buying gas, but in one afternoon, you guys buy more gas from Russia than we do.
In the whole month,
So-
in the whole year, maybe even.
Yeah, we're in a clown war right now, man. It's difficult to take these people serious. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
it
sir.
sucks because people who behave this way are very dangerous people because they start becoming desperate and they start becoming tyrannical.
Mm.
So I think people should pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's it for today, guys. It's been a
That's
good
all I
20
got,
minutes.
man.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey,
If
listen,
you have not liked and subscribed, go ahead and do it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, until next time, brazen out.
Double O.